New details tonight about a SWAT standoff between San Diego police and a 10-year-old boy. Police say that boy fired a gun at them twice.
10's reporter Mimi Alcala is live at the scene right now in Southcrest, and maybe neighbors, they're surprised that a child had access to a gun.
And Steve, Lindsay, that is the question that we keep hearing. How was this little boy able to get his hands on that type of a weapon? Well, police were out here on Boston Avenue investigating for hours today.
Because I grew up in this neighborhood, it's the norm for me. It's just sad that it's, our youth.
Rhonda Lewis was in her home on Boston Avenue Thursday morning when she was suddenly told to evacuate.
I came out to the helicopters and all the police officers out on the street and then SWAT.
All of this because a 10-year-old boy was allegedly barricaded in a shed with a shotgun.
What kind of kid is he?
Throwing the basketball, football, playing basketball, skateboard up and down the street, that type of kid.
Police say they got the 911 call from the child's family saying he was armed with a knife and a hammer and was uncontrollable. When officers arrived and tried to talk to him, they say he ran to the shed where the gun and several rounds of ammo were located. The child allegedly shot at officers twice, thankfully missing.
The child runs from us, he shoots at us, we're still going to use restraint.
A SWAT team and emergency negotiators arrived at the scene, moving very carefully. The boy eventually surrendered.
I am happy to report that about 11:15 this morning, the young man did turn himself in.
But the tense situation is now raising questions.
Why was there something of that in his possession?
A new law written by City Attorney Mara Elliott requires adults to safely store all firearms. Guns must be locked up in a storage box or disabled by a trigger lock. The goal is to keep weapons out of the hands of children.
How was this firearm placed in the shed? Was it locked up? Things of that nature. We're going to start looking at that now that the situation has been resolved.
And police tell us the little boy was taken to a medical facility to make sure that he wasn't a harm to himself or others. We're live in Southcrest this evening. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
Mimi, thank you. Joining us now is former San Diego Police Department SWAT Commander Ray Shea to talk about how officers would have approached this child differently in this situation.
Well, obviously it's different with a young child like that, but establishing the inner perimeter is essential. Communication among all the different participants that are making sure that it's safe. Coordinating emergency negotiation team arrival as well as the SWAT officers, and that's that communication. And whether it's a 7-year-old or whether it's a 100-year-old, you still have to follow certain safety parameters to establish the safety. But thank goodness this turned out the way it did, where no one was injured.
I'm sure a lot of our officers that were on this case today have their own children at home, maybe the same age. Talk about the emotions involved in a situation like this.
Well, law enforcement officers learn early that you have to put those emotions away. But without a doubt, every one of them, most parents, most cops are parents, and they're called mom and dad at home. But in the force, when they're wearing the uniform, they're wearing blue, they know they have to safeguard, and preservation of human life is the highest priority of any law enforcement officer. So they maintain that, and they sound communication and communicated with this young man, and thankfully he walked out.
What about that communication? Because this is a child, he's only 10 years old. Parents can be comforting, but this can also set them off. Do you bring the parents in this type of situation?
It would be very rare that at any time a negotiation team, whether federal, local, or national, would to have someone speak directly with the child. Now they might record a statement, and that would probably be the limit of it. But ultimately, emergency negotiation team commander, in cooperation with the field commander, can make those decisions. But they obviously made the right decisions today, and it turned out in a positive manner.
That's the good thing.
Very thankful for that. Ray Shea, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.